Hey guys, Brett Seeley here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to cover all elements of a fitness shoot. I'm going to be honest, I typed in fitness photography lighting into YouTube and I saw a few videos, and some of the videos were created by some pretty well-known creators. I've been shooting full-time fitness for the last 15 years and I'm a little bit particular when it comes to lighting, especially with fitness. I hate to be that guy, but there's a lot of really bad information. So don't believe everything you see. Don't believe everything you hear. We're going to teach you how to shoot fitness the right way. This particular athlete is about 2 weeks out from her show. With this image, we're going to show you the lighting, some posing tweaks, and then we're going to take it into Photoshop and show you the edit. So you should be able to see everything that you need to know to do proper fitness photo shoot. Now in this video, you will notice that there are 6 lights. Do you need to have 6 lights? You don't. But I recommend to have at least 3. If you're shooting fitness and you want to shoot it the proper way, highly recommend at least 3. Ideals 4 or 5 or even 6. You don't have to have all those lights, but if you want to get into fitness and make a good career out of it, if you want to make some money in this industry, it's worth investing in a few more lights. But with that said, let's see what we got. Rotate shoulders more to the right. Want to see more of your back. Right there. Right there. Good. Back looks insane. Right there. Rotate chest more to the right. Other side. Like that. Now just turn your face to the left. Lift the hair back up off the back. Bring both elbows back towards me a tiny bit right there. Bring the head back a tiny bit more. Focus on your left quad. So when you bend that left knee, press down right there, right there. Lean upper body back. Lean back. Back towards your backside. Yep, perfect. Now rotate chest to the right. Right there. Both elbows out to the side. Right elbow out to the side more. Right elbow. Lean back, chin up. Big stretch right there, right there. Relax. Dude, muscle. Muscle, muscle. This is a raw image. This is straight out of camera. When you get old, you gotta wear glasses to see. All right, so first thing I do is I go into crop. And being that we're going to crop this for social media, go to 3:4, and I'm going to bring it down. I want to be careful not to cut off too much of the quads, because quads do take a lot of work to build. In the adjustments, now I'm just going to go up and down. I'm going to make the adjustments. I want to bring this down. I want to make sure that I can still see detail in this elbow here. Bring the exposure down. I'm going to boost the contrast. Well, actually, I'm going to bring the contrast down a little bit, and then I'll adjust this up as needed. I'm bring up the brightness a touch. And we're going to bring the saturation down and then up. A lot of it's going to be back and forth just to see what aesthetically looks the most pleasing to you. Here, we're going to bring the highlights down because what I'm looking for here, if you pay attention to the elbow, the highlights, I want to make sure that there are not a lot of spots where you lose detail in the skin. Bring the shadow down. Then I'm going to bring the blacks up. If I bring the blacks up, that's going to bring out some of the detail in the back, which is what I want. And then just slide it back and forth. I want to make sure this is really impacting the hair here. So I want to make sure that the hair doesn't have any blown out areas. And maybe this is just a little bit of the autism in me, or just a little bit of OCD. I like patterns. So if you look at here, generally I go into this line here. What I found is most of my edits have this similar line right here. Okay, so from here, we'll bring the exposure down a little bit, and then we'll take the contrast up a touch. So you can see the before and after. There's before, there's the after. Edit this in Photoshop. One of the plugins that I've used quite a bit is a Retouch for me. And then I've been really using quite a bit the Retouch for me Apex. I'm going to show you the walkthrough here. So Apex is it's a collection of the most popular tools that Retouch for me offers. The alternative to Apex is the Retouch for me ARMs, and I've got that as well. I've worked with Retouch for me for quite a few years, and so I have access to quite a few other plugins. So because I have a lot of them, Arams works really well if you're trying to do a batch edit. So you can import an image or import a gallery, and then you can make modifications for one of the shots, and then you can actually apply that same adjustments using whichever plugins that you have. You can apply those to the entire gallery. Nice thing about that is the gallery that you present to clients, then, while it's not technically edited, they're definitely not straight out of camera. And so they actually have a nice aesthetic to it. All right, let's zoom in. Let's see. So it looks like on this particular one, it's not able to find her face, which is honestly fine because with lifting, what this does is it will lift certain parts of the face. So it will make the face more slender. It'll bring in the cheekbones, the jawline. It'll make the lips a little bit more full. I use it sometimes on a really low setting because I don't like adjusting the shape of people's faces. There are some instances when someone might be looking down and they have a little bit of extra skin on the bottom. So something like that. My philosophy on editing and Liquify is I will get somebody back to their most flattering shape. But what I won't do is I won't turn them into somebody completely brand new that people can't identify on the streets. But lifting is probably the one part that I use the least. In the heel, you can see here that it takes care of some of the blemishes on the face and dodge and burn. You can see it real briefly. So there's a little bit of discoloration or a little bit of some of the shadows like right here. So this cleans it up. Take this to max to show you the difference. So portrait volumes is one that I use quite a bit. On this one, it can be a little bit extreme. So this is almost like an additional dodge and burn layer. So on portrait volumes, I oftentimes bring this one down. For fitness one, be careful not to use this too heavily because a lot of times what it can do is it can fill in striations. So this one, I'm going to go back a little bit. It does help contour the face quite a bit. iVessels does a really good job of getting rid of bloodshot eyes. If we had a straighter view of the eyes, eye brilliance actually helps with the whites of the eyes and it brings out color in the eye as well. Skin tone going to help even out the skin color a little bit. Mattifier I don't use very often. Mattifier, if you have hot spots on the skin, it does a good job of kind of softening a really bright specular highlight. Fabric is the one that I use the least because what I find is fabric is designed for fabric, but it often, at least with fitness, it removes shadows and highlights on the skin, which for fitness we don't want because the more contrast you have between the highlights, midtones, and shadows, the more definition you have. And then backdrop on this particular image, we don't need that. We have healing, we can bring that down a little bit. Doesn't burn, we can bring that down a little bit. iVessels really isn't applicable in this particular shot because we can't see the eyes. Same thing with that. And we'll apply. That by itself cleans up a lot of the skin. So that gives us a good base or a good start. In addition to the Retouch for me, one of my favorite plugins to use is the Nino Batista's Skin. And I use this. This is kind of overkill in terms of like the skin smoothing because I don't like to do a ton of skin smoothing. What this does, and what the primary thing that I use this for is for skin tone. So let's go and adjust some of these sliders here. For hue balance, this is make sure that the tonal ranges are consistent top to bottom. Then this is going to adjust overall color more to the magenta or more to a warmer skin tone. So if you look at before and after. And then bring this up here and then bring down the texture recovery and the smoothing. Bring this a little bit lower. And the biggest impact you can see here is tones on the face. The before had a little bit of a pinkish hue, and after, now the skin tones match up a little bit more to the body. One thing that you want to be careful of here is if you click here, if you option click the mask, it will show you everything that's being impacted. And so if you notice on the hair has some discoloration. So I want to paint that out. So I'm going to take my brush, paint with a black brush. Then I'm going to remove the mask from the hair. And I'm also going to paint out the lips too. You can see there. And I'll also increase luminosity a little bit to make it a little brighter. Okay, then I'm going to tone. I'm going to use the same mask that you just created. And then this is one that I use here. And then that adds a gradient mask or a gradient to the color. So that's going to do another layer for the color correction. Then I go into frequency separation. This is another Nino Batista up here. You have your low and your high. I use the mixer brush. Settings I've got up top. And use this for a little bit of contouring. One thing I like to do is then I'll go back and bring down the opacity just so it's not so heavy-handed. And there you go. That's about it. We'll take this, we'll flatten here. The biggest tweak, we have a little bit of a pink hue in the face. So the steps we took care of that. The plugins smoothed out the skin. So there's I wouldn't say blemishes, but there's a few random dark spots. So it softens that up a little bit. The color tones. The tones were warmed up with using the Nino Batista Skin. A little bit more consistent tones. Try to maintain, wherever there's muscle. Try to maintain proper highlights and shadows. And then just to zoom in a little bit more on the actual image itself. This highlight right here, this rim, is with the longer strip in the back. So it hits the outside of the arm. Goes down, it gets a thin strip of rim light, thin strip on the outside of the glutes and back of the hamstrings. And then on the inside, front of the quads, going up to the stomach, then kind of on the underside of the arm. And then the lights that were on the ground, that's what's going to give you the highlight, shadow on the quads here. The more that you can layer highlight, shadow, the more you're going to make the subject look more three-dimensional. And then the light up top, that's what's giving you the highlight on the top of the arm, top of the hair, and then also the top of the forearm on this light here. And then the key light was camera left. That's going to light the face. It's the bottom part of the rear delts, and of course, the side. So is it mandatory to have 6 lights? It's not mandatory. But if you're trying to light up the body, if you're trying to light up the physique, the more lights you have, the easier it's going to be. So hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you got something new. I'll put links down below of where you can get all of the different plugins and all the different things. That's about it. I've got a ton of videos on this platform already talking about lighting, talking about posing, talking about everything you need to know a lot about lighting. But knowing the information is not enough to really give you the tools that you need to be successful in this industry. What you need to be successful is, honestly, you need the support of others who want to see you grow. You need constant feedback. You need people that are willing to give you the honest truth if you post an image and it sucks. You need to have someone that is going to give you the complete truth when it comes to what you need to do to get to the next level. You don't find that on YouTube. You don't find that out there. Where you can find that is in my coaching group. Shameless plug. In my coaching group, that's where, in addition to what you see here, that's where you get the hands-on, you get the constant feedback, you get the brutal, honest truth on how you're doing. And when you have that actual information, when you have the actual support of others who want to see you grow and succeed, that's the secret sauce to get you to the next level. If you find that you're struggling, if you find that you're not hitting all of your goals that you want with photography and or with fitness photography, send me a message on Instagram and then ask about my coaching group. Many of the most popular fitness photographers out there today have come from our group. And a lot of our current members now, they honestly charge more than I do. So that's one of the things that I'm super proud of. But if that's something that would help you out, send me a message. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. But until next time, keep shooting.